Hello guys, this is Asiful Fever. On managing networks, network administrators constantly face challenges with implementing security procedures and bandwidth optimization process in their network. This time, I will introduce to you a solution to solve that certain network problems. This is implementing the virtual local area network. Virtual local area network is just one smart solution to effectively manage the workstations, security, bandwidth allocations. Although VLANs can be very useful, they can be also present a lot of issues when managing them in huge enterprise networks. This time, I will be showing you some video clips that introduces the virtual local area network.
Hello, I'll be talking to you about the virtual local area network. The objectives of this discussion are we have to understand the difference between the traditional local area network and the virtual local area network. Next one is understand how VLAN works. And we have to create a sample simulation in creating a virtual local area network. So what is a local area network? So when we talk about a local area network, this has the switch that links all network nodes such that nodes can interact easily and efficiently. So it's a small network. Then traditional switches create the flat network. So ang makikita natin sa a sample ba local network area network is there are switches connected to the terminals, or what we call the computers. The next is the workstations are able to connect and are part of the same transmission network. So when we talk about on the same local area network, consider din siya sa isang broadcast domain lang yung kung we have only one local area network. Same broadcast domain lang siya, isang domain lang siya talaga. So in a local area network, there are several broadcastings in limited network might not be really troublesome. So, but as the network increases in scale, broadcasts can overwhelm the network as waste most times and drain a precious bandwidth to the degree that they tend to become a major concern. So, when we talk about local area network, so simple lang na SOHO, small home office network. So we have only one switch, then 10 computers, good pa yun. What if kung lalaki na yung network, we have multiple computers na connected on the same network? So anong nangyayari? So ang nangyayari is meron na tayong traffic na one. Kasi every time the each computer is sending to the other part of the network, so magsasend siya, sisendan niya lahat ng broadcast frame yung mga PC na connected. So the more it increases, so lahat yun marireceive, makaka-receive. Then what if simultaneous silang magsasend? So ang mangyayari, traffic talaga or jamming ang mangyayari. So broadcast can overwhelm the network or a waste of most times and drain the precious bandwidth to the degree that they tend to become the major concern. So that is one concern of a local area network. So this is a traditional switch, a create flat network. So isang broadcast domain to siya, isang local area network with same broadcast domain. A switch creates one broadcast domain but individual collisions domain. So if ang mangyayari is ito is magsisend siya ng message dito, so if magsisend siya ng message or lalagyan natin siya ng ito, each of them has its own broadcast frames na magsisend. So magsisend sila ng broadcast frame individually. So ito sisend niya dito, so re-receive siya, then ito magre-receive again. Kahit ito na yung kailangan niyang, this will be our receiver RX natin, then ito yung ating transmitter. So, good pa lang to if the network is maliit lang. So, ang nangyayari in a certain traditional switches, so each one of them have its own broadcast frame. Magsisend talaga sila over the network. So, what if lalaki na yung network natin? So, ito na mangyayari. So, kung ito si PC1, this is 1, this will be our transmitter, and this one is our receiver or RX. So, in a situation like this, so ito kung if ever magsisend siya dito sa RX natin, so lahat magre-receive ng broadcast frame niya. So, receive siya, ito magre-receive, ito magre-receive, ito magre-receive, then each of them magre-receive talaga siya, sila lahat. So, ito ang disadvantage niya. So, lahat on a network, connected on network, can receive the broadcast frames because under siya sa isang broadcast domain. Isang network siya under. So, ang disadvantage nito, kung lalaki na talaga yung network, so mag-create na siya ng collision domains. So, if ever in a certain period of time, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sabay silang magagamit. Sabay silang gagamit ng network. So, ang mangyayari, magkukollision. Then, what happens in a collision? So, lilimit yung bandwidth niya. Lilimit. So, hihina yung network na dadaan natin. Because, these are frames na sinesend ng each of them. So, merong traffic network traffic ang mangyayari dito. So, ito yung in a certain traditional local area network. So, here you can see the big picture of flat network. While all workstations are connected to our fast switches, they will be received broadcast because they are part of the same broadcast domain. So, isa siyang broadcast domain. So, ang mangyayari nito is hihina talaga. So, ang mangyayari so that problem, so ang solution talaga nito is we will have to create a VLAN. Because of the problem arises on a certain traditional flat local area network. So, anong problema na nakikita? Ang nakikita natin is yung traffic talaga ng broadcast domain. In a broadcast domain, traffic ang mangyayari. So, ngayon, mayroong naisip na gagawa ng virtual local area network. So, what is this? So, in a virtual local area network, it enables multiple networks to function functionally as one LAN. So, in one LAN, we will create a virtual different LAN in a one LAN. Then, the primary goal of a VLAN implementation is to boost network performance by reducing the number of transmitted broadcast frame on a broadcast domains. Diba? Yung nakikita natin na problem kanina is yung broadcast domain is mag-create because kung lalaki na yung network mo, so ang mangyayari, each part of the network will be sending broadcast frames. So in a certain broadcast domain, so mangyayari, traffic talaga ang mangyayari. Then, through creating several broadcast domains, a VLANs can help manage the broadcast traffic. So, yung instead na isang domain yung isang network natin, so we will have to subdivide. Okay, para yung same broadcast domain, sila lang yung magko-communicate. So, this is now the VLAN concept. So, the VLAN is capable switch has been configured in two VLANs. Each VLAN acts as a separate network. So, we have here the VLAN 1 and the VLAN 2. So, makikita natin sa illustration na the green one connection is the VLAN 2. So, yung broadcast domain nito nila is dito lang yun mag-rotate. So, every time si PC1, if this is your TX, and this will be your RX, the receiver. So, mangyayari is yung broadcast domain lang niya is sila lang yung magko-communicate within their broadcast domain. So, BD1 nila. So, under sa BD1, yung VLAN 2 natin, yung broadcast domain nila is nandito lang. Dito lang siya access. Dito lang siya nagpapalagi. Unlike sa VLAN 1 natin, yung broadcast domain niya is within within them lang pala. Yung VLAN, yung broadcast domain nito, this will be our BD2. So, ito na yung BD2 nila. So, sila may access lang. So, anong na-improve sa kanila? So, the first one is na-limit yung broadcast, na-limit yung collision domains nila. Na-limit. Then, otherwise, also, it improves the security of the network. What if this network, the broadcast domain or the network 2, network 1 is the network 1 will be a restricted network, hindi talaga dapat, so hindi maka-access si network 2 sa network 1. So improve yung security systems mo niya in the VLAN concept. So looking at our network example differently, so ito yun, we separate those VLAN 1 and VLAN 2. This diagram shows us another way we can view our example network. A VLAN capable switch with two configured VLANs is similar to having two separate switches that are not connected between each other. Kung this is the illustration virtually. So this is talaga yon. Pero in a certain VLAN, we will be using the manageable switch. So yung manageable switch natin, we have to in configuring a VLAN. So the port of the switches lang yung kino-configure natin. Na port 1 to 5, VLAN 1. Port 6 to 10, VLAN 2. Port, depende na yon sa number of ports na gagamitin mo in your area. So, be sure lang na ang gagamitin natin na switches are those manageable switch. Those manageable switch are capable of handling the virtual local area network. So how the VLAN works? So we will show some video clips how the VLAN works.
One way is to add a router. This would create separate broadcast domains per interface. But it's an extra bit of hardware to purchase, install, cable, and manage. Another, more radical option is to physically split the network into separate sections. This would create broadcast domains for each department. Traffic wouldn't be sent from one department to the other, which drastically reduces our broadcast overhead. But this option still has the issue of needing to purchase and set up new equipment, and neither one of these options is very scalable. Say we wanted to add a new department, both options would require work to set up. And we don't want to do that. This is where VLANs come in. VLANs give us all of the benefits of physically separating our network, but with the added bonus of being able to do this virtually. The traffic still behaves in the same way as if it was physically split. Traffic isn't forwarded to any other departments. And it's almost like having 4 miniature switches inside our single one. Only interfaces in the same VLAN can communicate with each other. In this example, finance is yellow, IT is red, sales is green, and HR is purple. I'm using colors, but in reality, you will probably use numbers such as VLAN 10, VLAN 20, etc. If we wanted to add a new finance server, then we just need to assign that interface to the finance VLAN. And communication between those two interfaces is allowed because they're on the same VLAN. If we wanted to add a brand new marketing department, then we just create that VLAN and assign it to an interface.
A sample VLAN network simulation using the ENSP software. We are using the ENSP for the simulation of our VLAN. So we have to select the router. So here are 2240. and the manageable switch S5700. Then select now the two PCs, you have the PC1 and the PC2. So let's highlight first this one and let's start the devices. So just wait for a shorter period of time. So the device is now already on start mode. So let's connect the ER1 to ER2 to GE. So the manageable switch to PC1 and manageable switch to PC2. Interface 001. So what we can see here is we can see the interfaces of each devices. So GE and GE001 to our switch from the ER1. So let's have the VLAN assign the PC1 as our VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 for our PC2. So in assigning the VLAN, so we are in assigning the VLAN, so we will have first to write on our note. So before we will paste this, so we will assign this PC1 as IP address of 10.001/24, and for our router, this is our gateway, so 10.0.0.254/24. For now, so we have already the IP address, the assignment of our VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. So what we can see here is the connections. So you can see that all nag-green po silang lahat. So there's a connection now. So let's assign the IP address to our PC1. So 10.0.0.1. So subnet mask 255. Your gateway is 254. Then apply. Then for our PC2, so 10.0.0.2 255. Then our gateway 254. Then apply. So then for our switches, so we'll just have our nodes lang. Lagyan natin ng switch 1. So dito na tayo mag-assign ng VLAN natin. Let's type the configuration. So the configuration for our switches. We're setting now the VLAN for our switch. So VLAN batch 10 to 20. We have INT of integer of this is now the port address for our VLAN 10. Then port address of our G003 for clean type access. So the switch now are considered as the trunk of we're setting the switch into trunk. So port trunk, PBID. So we have here that is the configuration of our switch now. Then we have now the configuration of our ER1. So address 10.0.254. So we will just have to paste this one. For this one is we type already the configuration, then we have to i-assign na natin yung pag-paste sa router. So pinging we have to paste first this one, CIS, then paste. So then the ER again, CIS, then integer 0154/24, just 24, walang yun, paste. So ping. Pinging is the host is unreachable. So next natin gagawin is lalagyan natin ng change natin yung IP address. So ibang network talaga yung magagamit ng ng isang VLAN natin. Kanina is same sila din, gagawa natin ng isang linya yung router paing sa switch. Kaya para siya yung magsisilbing port na dadaanan ng ating network 20.0.1/24. Then itong port din nito sa router natin, so kukonfigure din natin sa IR1 natin mamaya. So change natin ito 20.0.1 20 yung gateway niya, and apply. Okay, then sa router part natin, so i-add na natin yung INT, yung port ng 0000, then address na 20.2254/624. So yung port link trunk natin is gagawin nating access na po siya, dadaanan ng VLAN 20 and VLAN 10. Port default VLAN 10, 00 kasi sinama natin yung port 00. Default VLAN 20. Ito naman yung dadaanan ng ating VLAN 20. So paste. So wala. Okay, this time naman is yung pagdating naman natin yung connection, testing the connections. So this is now the VLAN configuration, the simple VLAN configuration that would help the network administrator. So thank you.